In what seemed like a fight Bivol had well in hand, things quickly spiraled into chaos. The showdown between Dmitry Bivol and Artur Beterbiev was nothing short of a spectacle. A roller coaster for every fan watching, with no clear winner until the very last second. Bivol started strong, taking an early lead and controlling the fight with his precision and speed. For Beterbiev, though, it was tight. The only way out? A knockout, and it almost came after the 11th round. But Bivol rallied back, showing his class. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough to impress the judges, which led to a bombshell result. Bivol was absolutely robbed of his shot at undisputed light heavyweight glory in a scandalous decision out of Saudi Arabia. At 33, Bivol, WBA champ, and one of the best technical boxers in the game, took on the undefeated wrecking ball, Beterbiev, who held the WBC IBF and WBO titles. The stakes couldn't have been higher, but somehow, the fight ended in controversy. Beterbiev put on a relentless clinic, chipping away at Bivol's defense with his heavy hands. But Bivol wasn't backing down, racking up points with his sharp counters and slick footwork. It was a strategic masterpiece from both fighters, with each round telling a new story. In the end, Bivol thought he had done enough. Most fans thought he had done enough. But the judges didn't see it that way. The scorecards? One judge called it 114. 114. A draw, while the other two judges leaned heavily in Beterbiev's favor, scoring at 116, 112, and 115, 113. Bivol, who had masterfully controlled the bearded menace for most of the fight, was left stunned. He should have been cementing his place among the greats, but instead, he walked away with nothing but disappointment. Beterbiev, known for his monstrous power, pushed the pace throughout, trying to corner Bivol and land his signature heavy shots. But Bivol danced around him, landing quick 1-2s, making Beterbiev look a bit one-dimensional at times. Yet Beterbiev's sheer persistence kept him in the fight, and his relentless pressure earned him the later rounds when Bivol started to fade. By the 4th round, Bivol was giving shades of his dominant performance against Canelo, moving effortlessly and making Beterbiev miss. But in the 5th, Beterbiev's power finally broke through. Bivol took a solid hit and had to escape, narrowly avoiding disaster. Round after round, the tension built, with both men landing heavy shots, keeping fans on the edge of their seats. But in the end, it was the judge's decision that shocked everyone. Leaving Bivol empty-handed in a fight many believed he deserved to win. Despite the razor-thin margins in several rounds, Bivol didn't question the result. Displaying grace in defeat, he acknowledged Beterbiev's victory without complaint. In his post-fight interview, Bivol admitted, "I felt I could do better. It's just the opinion of the judges. He won. What can I say?" His honesty and acceptance of the outcome resonated with fans who admire his no-nonsense approach. Bivol, who had previously been lauded for his performance in defeating Canelo Alvarez, was the first fighter to go the distance with Beterbiev. But he felt the force of every punch. Even his own gloves betrayed him, with his hand marking his face after absorbing the power behind Beterbiev's blows. "He's powerful, very powerful," Bivol admitted, showing off a bruise caused by blocking Beterbiev's punches. As for a potential rematch, Bivol was open to the idea, but may not come to fruition. Beterbiev, who had already hinted before the fight that becoming the undisputed champion was his final goal in the light heavyweight division, could very well be looking at life beyond 175 pounds. With the division conquered, the 39-year-old may see this as the perfect time to either hang up his gloves or take on a new challenge in the cruiserweight ranks. Following his close and contentious decision loss to Artur Beterbiev, rumors have started circulating that Dmitry Bivol may be considering retirement if he doesn't get the rematch he desires. With the outcome being a major talking point, and many in the boxing world, including promoter Eddie Hearn, voicing frustration over the scoring, it's clear the fight left Bivol with a sense of unfinished business. Despite a competitive performance, the judges favored Beterbiev, and Bivol's future seems uncertain. Sources have hinted that if Bivol isn't granted a chance to reclaim what he feels was within his grasp, he might walk away from the sport altogether. For a fighter who has always prided himself on his precision and movement, not securing a rematch with Beterbiev could be a decisive factor in his career path. The whispers of potential retirement suggest that Bivol might feel there's little left to prove, if he isn't given the opportunity to correct what he and many of his supporters perceive as an injustice. While the official word from Bivol remains respectful towards the outcome, the lack of a rematch could signal the end of his journey in the ring. For now, Beterbiev has little left to prove at light heavyweight. His devastating power and resilience have secured him a legendary status. With one final achievement under his belt, it wouldn't be surprising if retirement is on his mind, leaving fans to wonder if they've witnessed the last of his punishing performances in the ring. Eddie Hearn, visibly outraged, felt that Dmitry Bivol had been unfairly treated in what was the biggest fight of his career. He couldn't believe that Bivol had only been awarded 4 rounds by one of the judges, especially in such a high-stakes bout. To Hearn, the scoring was nothing short of disgraceful, pointing out that even Beterbiev's own corner had urged their fighter to go for the knockout in the later rounds, a clear sign that they believed the fight was slipping away. The promoter was adamant that those who scored the fight in Beterbiev's favor by such a wide margin should face consequences, calling into question the integrity of the decision. From Hearn's perspective, the fight was far closer than the scorecard suggested, and he couldn't hide his frustration with how the judges had handled the contest. The discrepancy between what he saw in the ring and how the judges marked the bout was, in his view, a black mark on the sport. Frank Warren echoed similar sentiments. In his eyes, Bivol had done enough to edge the fight by a couple of rounds. The score of 116-112 in favor of Beterbiev left him in disbelief, dismissing it as an unreasonable and even laughable reflection of what had transpired in the ring. Both promoters, despite being from opposing camps, seemed united in their criticism of the decision, suggesting that Bivol deserved a better outcome than what the official scorecards reflected. The fight between Dmitry Bivol and Artur Beterbiev had everyone on the edge of their seat, as two of the best light heavyweights in the world went toe-to-toe in a showdown that exceeded all expectations. Bivol's performance, full of skill and heart, left fans captivated as he executed a brilliant strategy, utilizing his movement and timing to neutralize much of Beterbiev's famed power. Despite the outcome, many believed Bivol did enough to at least earn a draw, or, at the very least, a closer scorecard from the judges. When the final bell rang, there was evident tension in the air as the world waited to hear the decision. But when the scores were read, a majority decision in favor of Beterbiev left fans and pundits alike questioning the outcome. The controversy surrounding the scoring sparked widespread debate, with some feeling that the fight was much closer than the judges' cards reflected. For Bivol, who had done what no other fighter had by staying on his feet against the knockout artist, the lack of a rematch would be a disappointment not just to him, but to boxing fans around the globe. A rematch between these two warriors seems like the natural next step, especially given the closeness of the contest and the drama it generated. Bivol's fans would be deeply disappointed if he chooses to walk away from the sport without getting another crack at Beterbiev. His performance showed that he not only belonged at the elite level, but that he deserved a fairer outcome. Without a rematch, it feels like an unfinished chapter in the light heavyweight division, one that Bivol and many in the boxing community believe deserves to be revisited.